The small creature huddled in the corner of the abandoned cargo bay, its 6 limbs tucked tightly against its body. Translucent purple fur shimmered despite the dim lighting, and 3 wide eyes blinked nervously at every sound that echoed through the derelict space station. It had been 3 cycles since the Vrexian traders had departed in haste, leaving behind what they considered defective merchandise. The youngling was a Luminov cub, a rare species valued throughout the galaxy for their empathic abilities and bioluminescent fur. This particular cub, however, had been deemed worthless when it displayed another trait. No glow, no empathic projection, just a silent, frightened creature that wouldn't fetch even a quarter of the standard market price. It understood little beyond hunger and fear. The food dispenser had stopped working a cycle ago, and the temperature regulation systems were beginning to fail. The cub had no concept of death, but instinct told it something terrible approached. An alarm sounded, startling the cub into a tight ball. The main airlock was cycling. Someone, or something, had arrived. Human voices echoed down the corridor. The cub had never encountered this species before, but stories told by the traders painted them as dangerous, unpredictable beings from a backwater world who had somehow managed to join galactic society despite their primitive nature. Life signs detected in Section 4, a deep voice announced. Faint but stable. Probably just another broken service bot, a higher voice responded. This station was supposed to be abandoned months ago. The cub trembled as heavy footsteps approached. 2 figures appeared in the doorway, bulky in their environmental suits despite the breathable atmosphere. The faceplates of their helmets reflected the beam of their handheld lights. "Well, I'll be damned," the taller human said, crouching down. "Tom, get the medkit. It's a baby Luminov." The second human, Tom, stepped closer, his movements deliberately slow. "I thought they glowed. Why isn't it glowing?" "Probably why it was abandoned," the first human replied, a hint of anger in her voice. "The black market dealers only want the pretty ones." Tom knelt, keeping his distance from the frightened cub. "Hey there, little buddy, we're not going to hurt you." The cub couldn't understand the words, but something in the gentle tone reached through its fear. One eye cautiously opened wider than the others, focusing on Tom. "I'm Alex," the taller human said, removing her helmet. Short brown hair framed a kind face with lines around the eyes. "And this is Tom. We're with the Human Stellar Navy Rescue Division." Tom followed suit, revealing a dark-skinned man with a warm smile. He reached slowly into a bag and produced a small device. Bioskin shows dehydration and malnutrition, but no serious injuries. "Let's get some food and water in this little guy." The cub flinched when Tom extended his hand, but hunger overrode caution. The small nutrient cube smelled wonderful, and after a tentative sniff, the cub devoured it in seconds. "Good job, buddy," Tom praised, offering water next. "Got a fighter here." Alex tapped her communicator. "Captain Reed, we found a Luminov cub, abandoned, non-luminescent. Request permission to bring it aboard." A pause, then. "Granted. Medical bay standing by." Within the hour, the cub found itself in a warm, clean environment for the first time in its short life. Human hands were gentle as they examined, cleaned, and fed it. The ship's medic, a woman called Dr. Miller, clucked her tongue as she reviewed the scan results. "Malnourished, but otherwise healthy," she announced. "As for the lack of bioluminescence, it's not a defect, it's just immature. Lumineth cubs don't develop their glow until adolescence." Tom scratched behind the cub's ear flaps, earning a contented chirp. "You hear that? You're not broken, just young." "What happens now?" Alex asked. "The nearest Federation outpost is 3 weeks away." Captain Reed entered the medical bay, his weathered face softening at the sight of the cub now curled comfortably on Tom's lap. "We take care of it. Then we find it a home." Over the following days, the cub became the unofficial mascot of the rescue vessel. The humans named him Spark, optimistic that his glow would eventually emerge. He grew stronger with proper nutrition and care, and his natural playfulness began to show. The crew fashioned toys from spare parts, and Spark would chase them through the corridors during recreation hours. 2 weeks into their journey, during the ship's night cycle, Alex was awakened by an urgent call from Tom. "You need to see this," he said, voice hushed with wonder. She rushed to the makeshift habitat they created for Spark, only to stop in the doorway, amazed. The room was bathed in a gentle blue light emanating from the cub, who sat alertly on his cushion. "His first glow," Alex whispered. But something else was happening. The humans in the room felt a wave of emotion. Gratitude, safety, belonging that wasn't their own. The empathic ability, Tom realized, is developing too. Dr. Miller ran a scan, nodding excitedly. The proper nutrition and social interaction must have triggered his development. He's not defective. He just needed the right conditions to thrive. News of Spark's transformation spread throughout human space. By the time they reached the Federation outpost, 3 different Lumineth conservation groups had contacted the human stellar navy, each offering sanctuary for the rescued cub. But Captain Reed had other ideas. The conservation groups have fine options. He admitted during the final crew meeting, "But I've received official permission for another solution. If you're interested, Tom and Alex." The pair exchanged glances, then broke into matching grins. 6 months later, Spark resided on Earth in the home of his adoptive human parents. A special ambassador status had been created, the first of its kind, recognizing the unique bond between humans and the young Lumineth. Each night, as Spark's glow illuminated their home with shifting patterns of blue and purple light, Tom and Alex felt the gentle touch of his empathic projection. Family, home, safety. Who would have thought, Tom often mused, that being abandoned would lead him to where he truly belonged. In response, Spark would pulse brighter, projecting a feeling that needed no translation in any language across the stars: love.